Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream. It is 7:35 p.m. It is the 21st of March, and we're here to look at some of the main stories today that have caught my attention in the press. Few stories around, not going to lie, some interesting ones, some uninteresting stories, but hey, that's life in the news. We'll also have a look at some comments that have been left on the channel recently, and we'll also go into the chat section, which I have to my right here, around the 20-minute mark, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit later than the 20-minute mark. So stay tuned for that. And if you are watching this evening's live stream, say hello in the chat section. Now, straight into the news. And Mr. Luis Rubials, you might remember that name from about 6, 8, 9 months ago, when Spain's women's football team won the World Cup. And of course, he was caught up in a bit of a scandal, let's say, the kissing scandal, which led to his downfall. Well, now he is about to be arrested because the Guardia Civil has searched the Spanish Football Federation, Luis Rubials' home, and they have arrested several people. The Guardia Civil's Central Operational Unit, the UCO, or the UCO, has searched the Royal Spanish Football Federation at the home of its former president, Luis Rubials, in an investigation into alleged irregular contracts over the last 5 years. According to TVE, Televisión Española, 7 people have already been arrested, 5 in Madrid, 2 in Granada, and 5 people are under investigation. Rubials himself would have been arrested had he been in Spain, but he is in the Dominican Republic and is expected to return to the country in the next few hours for his arrest. Well, there's an update on this, and Mr. Rubials is not returning to Spain apparently until the 6th of April, when he will be arrested according to all reports. So this man continues to make news because of alleged dodgy dealings in the Football Federation here. Contracts that were going to friends, allegedly, contracts that were going to relatives, allegedly, and also the dodgy dealings, allegedly, between Saudi Arabia and the Spanish Football Federation, which, as we know, the Super Cup is held in Saudi Arabia now, and I think the next 2 years as well, but don't quote me on that figure. So Mr. Rubials, a controversial figure in the past and still today with these alleged irregular activity, or what are we seeing here? Some type of irregular contracts over the last 5 years. So, we'll see how this one plays out when or if he comes back to Spain. He might not come back. He might decide to stay in the Dominican Republic, as my dog's head is seen just under my arm there. Next piece of news, and Minister Bolanos is limiting the impact of Puigdemont's candidacy and reminds that his arrest warrant is still in force. In the government, there are different opinions on whether former President Carles Puigdemont will run as an effective candidate in the Catalan elections. Some socialist ministers even suggest that it could be positive for him to do so because his defeat at the polls would definitively close the process. There is a debate about its consequences, but there is agreement on limiting its impact. The Minister of the Presidency and Justice, Felix Bolanos, has pointed out that regardless of the decision that Puigdemont will announce this afternoon, the Catalonia of today has nothing to do with the one that he left in 2017. Normalization in Catalonia is advancing every day, silently, although any statement or circumstance makes more noise, he argued this morning during an interview on the Cero. And Mr. Puigdemont is currently, maybe he's done so already, but the last time I checked, he was in the process of announcing whether or not he will run in the Catalan elections, which I think are being held on the 12th of May. In fact, I could probably go to the newspaper now and get an update and just check whether or not Mr. Puigdemont, yes, Mr. Puigdemont has confirmed that he will be candidate for the president of Catalonia on the 12th of May. So there we go. But we saw the words there from Mr. Bolanos, and some people think that it's a good idea. Some people are a little bit worried because they don't know what that Puigdemont effect will be, whether it will be negative or positive for the Socialist Party. Time will tell. Next piece of news, and a funny story this, because the Minister of Transport, Mr. Puente, has complained about EU and Ouigo's low prices. They are dragging Renfe into bad results. Now, I'll just put this into context. The two companies mentioned there are recent competitors, let's say, in the fast train services here in Spain, and Renfe is the state rail operating system. So I'll just put that into context. The Minister of Transport and Urban Agenda, Oscar Puente, has protested on Wednesday against the low prices in the services of the railway companies EO and Ouigo, while denouncing that the French public company is putting obstacles to the entry of Spain in the French country. In this sense, the minister has pointed out that both Ouigo and EO are losing a tremendous amount of money in Spain by dumping prices, which has also dragged Renfe into bad financial results, as he explained in an interview on Cadena SER. In fact, he accused the French company of blatantly dumping prices. So it's strange that we get competition here in the sector, and now the Minister of Transport is complaining and accusing these companies of dumping prices. That's what competition's all about, right? To give a competitive edge, or try to get a competitive edge to get more customers than the rival. And if you have to lower the prices for a while there, or for a certain amount of time until the market probably works in your favor, that's what companies do. That's what privatization is all about. And if you don't want competition, you don't privatize the sector, basically. And what he's saying there, also interesting, is that France putting obstacles on Spanish companies entering the French rail market. So there we go. We know that the French are sometimes not open to competition in their markets. And the final piece of news here, and we'll see if we can get a bargain in Spain, houses and flats from 20,000 euros, a great opportunity to buy in Spain well below market value. A great opportunity for those who want to buy a house at a price well below its market value. BBVA Bank has put on sale several flats and houses all over Spain at very low prices. In the list, you can find both properties in good condition that will not need renovation to move in, as well as properties that require renovation. All the properties for sale can be found on the internet through the real estate website Aya Real Estate. To give you an idea of the great opportunities that can be found, here is a selection of properties that Noticias Trabajo has made. We'll have a look at one of their properties that they have highlighted, and it's an apartment in La Carolina, Jaén, which is on the border with Castilla-La Mancha, La Carolina. 27,500 will get you this apartment, and as we can see here, it's been reduced by more than 50%. It's located in a very well located area, if that makes sense, which has all the essential services nearby. It is composed of 4 rooms, 2 bathrooms, a living dining room, a separate kitchen with laundry room. It is detailed that the home has a comfortable and functional distribution, that it is very well preserved, and that it has a furnished kitchen, so you could move in immediately. But I suggest you check the property out first before forking out 27,500 for it. And some of the other properties, there is a catch with some of the properties, and that is that they are currently occupied by squatters. So, yeah, you'll get a cheap price, but you'll have to get squatters out. That is not the case of the one that we just saw there. That apartment is ready to go, 27,500. You just have to decide whether you want to live in La Carolina in Jaén, which is basically in the middle of nowhere, on the way to other destinations, which are probably more attractive, I would say, but no offense to people from La Carolina. But it doesn't look like much of a town the times that I have driven through. There's a place called Carolina del Norte and Carolina del Sur. And as we know, South Carolina and North Carolina. Now, the next thing we'll look at today is comments, and the first one here from Andrea. Scotland is gorgeous and can have good weather in summer. Yeah, emphasis there, Andrea, on the word can. Not saying Scotland does have good weather. It says can have good weather in the summer, and that's basically what I found out on my trips to Scotland in the summer months, that yes, it can have a good day, but it sometimes has a lot of bad days. But of course, it's where it's located, right? And this comment arising from something that I said yesterday, but we'll have a look at that in a bit more detail in just a moment. Another comment here from Debbie. I wonder if Sanchez has looked at the long game. His agreement to bring back Mr. Puigdemont could make him go down in history as the political leader who led to the breakup of Spain. Not a good look for Sanchez. Yeah, Debbie, thanks for the comment. I don't think this is going to happen. And of course, the history books will judge Mr. Sanchez as either being the person who broke Spain even more or brought Spain together. Time will tell, as with everything. His critics would accuse him of what you mentioned there, Debbie, of breaking the Spanish state as we know it. But his supporters will say that, as we saw Mr. Bolanos, his number one fanboy, the Catalonia is better than it's ever been. Basically, that's the point of the Socialist Party. Now, I don't live there, so I don't know if that's true or not. But people that are in Catalonia, let us know if it's better now than it ever has been, or at least since that process took place in 2017. Let us know what the situation is there now. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. If Mr. Puigdemont does come back, they're going to try for independence. They're going to try to do it legally this time around, I believe. But whether they'll be successful, I don't know, because as far as I know, the one part of Spain can't vote on its own to separate. I think you need the support of the rest of the country. I think that's the way it works. But I'm sure they'll try and change that. But whether they do or not, I don't know. And will a change of government centrally in Spain mean that everything changes again in Catalonia? Probably. But again, time will tell. We saw that one. This one here from Erica. God or whoever help Catalonia. Hopefully things will remain as peaceful as now and Junts goes down the drain as in the last Catalan elections. There we go. Erica, who does indeed live in Catalonia, saying there that things are peaceful now. But Mr. Puigdemont could stir things up again. That's the worry. But according to the polls that I'm looking at, because as we know there are elections in Catalonia in May, I think it is. According to the polls, the Socialist Party is out in front. Mr. Puigdemont is running third, and the ERC, the Republican left of Catalonia, I think, is currently in second place in those polls. But again, we'll have a look at polls a little bit closer to the date. That would be my recommendation. Another one here from Jay Lagan. I wish I knew the rules for pronunciation. Barcelona or Barcelona. Jerez or Jerez. I try to follow the newsreaders on Cuatro TV, but the Spanish people in the hotel have a different pronunciation. Help, says Jay. Yeah, good question here, Jay, and this is one that a lot of learners of Spanish or people curious about the Spanish language have asked the question. Lots of theories, but basically it is that in Castilian Spanish, the C, I'm talking about the Castilian Spanish spoken in the majority of mainland Spain. So that also makes it a bit confusing. But the C in Castilian Spanish is pronounced like we pronounce in English, th, th. So if I say think, it's exactly the same as Barcelona, okay? Another place, Zamora. Various places around the country, Palencia, Valencia, okay? The th is exactly the same sound as we have in English, think, think. Some parts of the country, especially the south, don't have that sound. They pronounce the C as a C, like Barcelona. And also in Catalan, I believe Barcelona is pronounced Barcelona. But in Castilian Spanish, spoken in the majority of Spain, let's say, for example, Andalusia up, it is pronounced as a th. So you ask for a beer, you ask for a cerveza, because the Z, when it's followed by certain letters, is also pronounced as a th sound. Okay, so if you want to get your head around mainland Spanish, it's different in the Canary Islands because they take that C sound as they do in South America. But basically it comes down to the fact that Spanish is a phonetic language, and the correct phonetic pronunciation of the C is th. And it's as simple as that. There was no king with a lisp, so before people go into the comment section saying there was a king with a lisp who spoke Barcelona, that's rubbish. It's a phonetic language, okay? And the sound is exactly the same. In phonetic English, th, 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 it's exactly the same. Another one here from Terry. I really enjoy your videos. You are straight-spoken with the just my personal opinion caveat. Tonight, you made me laugh out loud at the deadpan thanks you gave to your Scottish ancestors for moving to Australia. I did this yesterday, Terry, as Terry points out here. I said thanks to my Scottish ancestors, the people that decided to pack their bags and hop on a boat and head to the warmer climes of Australia. I say thank you very much for that. Scotland, of course, if you're Scottish, you're used to it, don't know anything else, fair play to you. But for me, no, sir. I prefer a warmer place, as do many other people as well from the north of Europe and also places like Scotland. But again, if you're used to that type of weather, you probably enjoy it, or some people, I imagine, enjoy it. But me, for example, thank you very much to those people that, 150, 200 years ago, decided to take the big step of moving to a continent basically with not much there, let's be honest. One here from Marcus. Absolutely right to be skeptical about the Ave Murcia Almeria date. We were waiting for years and years and years for the Ave Murcia Madrid, and when we finally did get it, it makes a dogleg detour via Orihuela and Elche, or worse, via Alicante. Yeah, Marcus, this is the problem with some rail services, especially in Almeria. It's almost the forgotten province of Spain when it comes to rail. I'd put two into that category, Almeria and Extremadura. But Extremadura is an autonomous community, not a province. But the two provinces in Extremadura, forgotten by the train system. Almeria also forgotten. The AVE, the fast train, goes to Granada, but it doesn't make it all the way to Almeria. It goes to Malaga, it goes to Seville, it goes to Cordoba, it goes to basically everywhere else in Andalusia, but it doesn't get to Almeria, I don't think. But it is planned. But I think I read the other day also that the train system has been suspended until they get the works finished. So people are on buses in Almeria, I think, but don't quote me on that. I'm sure people in Almeria, like Marcus, will be able to give us some more detailed, better information. And the final one here from VC. I truly do not understand what the Brits see in Spain anyway. Go elsewhere. Well, I'll tell you, VC. Obviously, I'm not British, although a lot of people think that I am, but I can understand why people like Spain, and especially the parts that are frequented by a lot of British people. And it is because it's sunny, so the weather's probably factor number one. Number two is that in some places it's a lot cheaper, especially when it comes to eating and drinking. That is Benidorm, you see on any television program about Benidorm. You can pick up a pint for a lot cheaper than you can in the UK. And thirdly, they've created, British people they've created communities where they feel at home in Spain in the sun. And that's also an important factor. So, for example, if you go to places in Alicante where there is a decent-sized British population there, or English-speaking population, people feel comfortable in that. They've got their own types of businesses that they like to frequent. They've got the language aspect as well, that they can communicate down there. And those are probably the main reasons. But again, I stand to be corrected. If you've got any more to add to the list, please do so. Now, and there are people that do like the cultural aspect of Spain as well, of course. But I reckon the sun is the main draw card. Now let's have a look at a background picture that was sent in from John, and this is a picture of a reservoir in Malaga. Obviously, Malaga suffering drought conditions at the moment, restrictions in some parts of the province down there. And this is the water situation at this particular reservoir. Now, I don't know which one it is, but I'm sure people will be able to tell me. And we can see there that it's low. It's low. So water concerns for that part of Spain, of course. Now, if you've got a similar picture to this one that you would like to see on the backdrop, or any picture for that matter about Spain, coastal shot, whatever, the email address is this one here. You can send it to that email address, and if it meets the requirements, it'll go on the backdrop. And the requirements basically are, I'll just organize myself here 1 minute. The requirements basically are that it's in landscape size, okay? So not the Instagram, long one, not very wide, landscape, okay? So because otherwise I can't fit them on the back screen here. So that's the main requirement, okay? And also the quality of the photo. If it's too blurry, if it's too dark or whatever, I can't use it. I won't be able to put it on the backdrop. But if it's like this one here where we can see fairly clearly everything in detail, fantastic. So thanks, John, for sending that one through. And any other information that you've got, please send it to me at this email address. Anything. Now, the like button also, we're currently at 55. So if you hit the like button now, we might get up to a decent tally, 60, 70, maybe 80 likes today. People that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's through the super thanks option, buying me a coffee, so the people that have bought me a coffee in recent times, thank you very much. And also longer term supporters on Patreon, thank you very much for that support. And the new way to support the channel, which of course is the membership option, $1.99 a month, $2.99 for a super member. And basically you get early access to videos. And also, we'll organise a members-only live stream further down the track as well, and also some exclusive content, which I'm working on at the moment, which should be ready after Easter sometime, I imagine. Now into the chat section, I'm going to go now. Let's scroll up to the top and see what's happening. The first person that I can see here is Andrew, valued member, of course, with that little yellow star or whatever that is next to his name. Hoping we are well from a not too wet London southeast. So good to see things are drying up there a little bit. James and Kathy, regular viewers also, coming in from Worcester, I think it is. Just got back from a lovely late evening walk and now enjoying a glass of wine, waiting for tonight's video. Hoping everyone is well. Thanks for that, James. Larry coming in from Tazacorte in La Palma. La Palma, of course, in the Canary Islands, as we know. Andrew, the anti-tourist problem is not only Spain. In the southwest of England, it's the same. In Wales in recent times, second homes, holiday lets were being burnt down. There we go, taking it to a whole new level, burning those properties down. Difficult to burn them down in Spain because they're in apartment buildings. So if you burn one down, the lot would go down. What else we got going on here? NVN, valued member as well, with a coffee symbol. Thanks for that. High Flyer John coming in, hoping everyone is well. Alan's in the chat too. 20 degrees in San Diego, currently icing the new knee. Alan recently replacing a knee, I believe. Mary coming in also, wishing everyone a good evening. Mary, I think, is in Peñíscola, I think it is. Sani's in England. Basingstoke to be exact, saying good evening to everyone also. Richard, valued member, as was Alan, a valued member, coming in from a cold and wet North Yorks. I know the pleasant weather wouldn't last long, but back to Malaga in 3 weeks is Richard. So obviously around that time, Malaga, I presume, will be fantastic. Liz saying hello. Hello, Liz. Jose Antonio also saying hello. Hello, Jose Antonio. 2002 wanted or 2002 wanted. Gary saying hello from South Florida. Good day to you, Gary. Nice to see you in the chat. What else we got going on? Steve's here also, coming in from a wet Ireland. Just for a change, eh? Not. Yeah, again, with the weather, Ireland as well, known for its humidity, let's say. Humidity, wet weather. Not much of a summer in Ireland either, I believe. What else? Let's have a look here quickly. Alan saying that stop exaggerating. It was around 40 years ago when second homes were burned in Wales. So not recent, according to Alan there. Roland coming in from Minneapolis, Minnesota. 6 inches of snow. Bet Solution back down to Almeria for a couple of months next week. Can't wait. That's it. Good. Getting back down to that part of Spain. NVN saying, do Ocupas come off charge with that price? Yeah, you've got to get the Ocupas out if it does have Ocupas in it. The one that we saw doesn't have any type of person living in the home. Probably in pretty bad condition. You might have to do it up, and it could also be a dodgy neighborhood. So keep that in mind as well. I'd recommend visiting it before you, as I said, laid out the cash. But if you do buy a property with squatters, you've got to get them out yourself. So good luck with that. Pamela coming in from San Juan de los Terreros. What's this one here? When it isn't raining in Scotland, the midgies go on a rampage. There we go. I imagine that is the case. A little bit of dry weather. Scotland was beautiful during our 2-week vacation there, but locals told us it was because we brought the weather with us from Florida. Always the case, right? Always the case. I mean, Scotland does get a couple of weeks at least of decent weather. At least, if they're lucky. Ricardo coming in here also from North London. The sun has finally broken through the clouds. Boy, is Ricardo happy, sipping on a glass of red vino right now. Barcelona is pronounced as it is written. Not sure what NVN's meaning there. But obviously phonetically speaking, of course. But it was the th sound there that gets a lot of people. The Barcelona or the Barcelona. Barcelona. I remember the old series Faulty Towers that had the Spanish waiter. Manuel, I think, was his name. He always said he was from Barcelona, I think, even though he was as English as John Cleese. Two Ravens come in from Zaragoza. Another one there, right? Zaragoza. Marianne, thank you for clearing up the king with a lisp myth. Yeah, nobody in Spain, I think, has ever heard that myth, but lisp. Yeah, Florida, El Conquistador coming in, tuning in from sunny beaches. I was just thinking about the old thing about the king. So again, does everybody in England talk like King Charles? No, thankfully. What else we got going on? Let's have a look here. Elections are on the 12th of May. Things at the moment are much calmer, relaxed than they were. There we go. Not many flag San postres and no yellow ribbons. Sean, did your ancestors arrive in Australia with a ball and chain around their feet by any chance? Yeah, I think there was probably maybe one that took that route, Sean. There's a lot of variation in the family tree. One was a police officer, I think. One was a convict. Other people were headed down there for the gold rush, of course. Some were traders. A lot of different things. Of course, we're going back quite a while, so and a lot of different stories there to be told. But anybody who voluntarily decided to pack their bags and head to Australia 200 years ago, pretty brave person, or people that went to the States or anywhere for that matter. And, of course, the people that didn't have a choice and, as Sean points out here, had a ball and chain around their feet, probably didn't know what they were in for, but I'm sure that their ancestors are thankful. I'm sure that they are. Erica also saying here that her only problem is that Puigdemont starts another emotional campaign, as was done in 2017, which caused a lot of problems. Yeah, he stirs everything up, doesn't he? Mr. Puigdemont, among friends and neighbours and workmates, crossing fingers. There we go. We don't want that. People stirring up those hostilities. Gus coming in from Wales. Johnny, also a valued member, coming in from San Diego, over there in California, of course. Waldendorf coming in from, where's that, Vienna? Really enjoy the content, though we can't join the live stream most of the time, but now we can say thank you. ST and Maxim, thanks guys for tuning in this evening. Good to see you. Philip coming in from London, regular viewer is Philip, of course. And Gigi, another regular viewer and patron is Gigi, coming in from Arizona. I think, surprise, is it, Gigi? Soon to be back on the Camino, I imagine, right? Not sure the exact date, but what is it, May, Gigi, when you hit Spain again to start your walk? And Michael coming in from San Diego. So another person coming in from San Diego. I was looking at some of the information behind the scenes. You know, some of the stats that I have, some of the the information I have on where people view from, and surprising to see just how many people are tuning in from the States on regular videos as well. Lots of people, of course, in Spain, different parts of the country. So thanks, guys, for tuning in, and thanks for watching regularly these videos. Now, that's the end of the chat, so I'm going to start to wrap it up. One more final one here from Fred, -4 in Montreal, Canada. Luckily, I'm not there. Today was 24.5 degrees in Madrid, so can't complain. So, wrapping the live stream up, thanks for watching as usual. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, of course, the comment section is the place to do it. I'll be back again Sunday, I believe, is the next live stream. Hopefully, I'll have some content out in between tomorrow and Saturday as well, so stay tuned for that. But as always, guys, it's been a pleasure. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for writing in the chat section. Hasta luego, hasta entonces. Bye-bye. Until Sunday.